Greetings to all. My name is Samita, Assistant Professor, Khalsa College of Education, Ranjit Avenue, Amritsar. I'm here to present my topic on learning styles. Learning styles are the different methods of learning or understanding new information. Learning styles can be described, classified, and identified in many different ways. Learning styles are the preferred ways a person takes in, understand, express, and retain information. Generally, they are the overall patterns that provide direction to the whole teaching learning process. Learning styles are the set of behaviors, factors, attitudes, skills that facilitate learning. Each learner has distinct and certain preferred ways of perception, organization, and retention. Learning styles include cognitive and affective behavior that act as a pretty good indicator that how learner learns, how he interacts and responds to his environment. Learning styles are influenced by how learner learns, how teacher teaches, and how they both interact with each other. Each person is born with certain tendencies regarding particular learning styles, which are further influenced by culture, senses, development, personality, etc. If learning styles of the students are matched with the whole learning environment or study environment, then it would have positive impact on the academic performance of students. This would bring effectiveness in the whole teaching learning process. So teacher must use variety of teaching methods to create effective teaching learning environment. Many researchers suggest that if learning styles are matched with the teaching styles, then it would bring effectiveness in the whole teaching learning process and it would enhance academic performance of students. Teaching methods of the teachers is also influenced by learning styles. Teacher must use multisensory approaches in order to create effective teaching learning environment. There is no one best learning style. Students learn best when it involves the combination of multiple learning styles. According to Cornett, learning styles are the overall pattern that provide direction to the whole teaching learning process. According to Ohio State University, learning styles are the way person perceive, interact and respond to his learning environment. Thus, we can conclude that learning styles are the preferred ways of perceiving and retaining information for a longer period of time. Now we discuss factors that influence learning styles. There are many factors that influence learning styles, such as culture, personality, senses, genetics, environment, health of a learner. Now we will discuss each of these factors one by one. Number one, genetics. Learning styles are influenced by genetics. Learning styles of our parents affect our styles. For example, if father is a farmer, then son will inherently learn the technique of planting trees. Number second, environment. Environment also influences learning style. Conditions which are favorable to the environment will have good impact on the learning styles. Conditions such as seating arrangement, temperature, humidity, and availability of resources will affect learning style. Making noise is a disturbing element. It would create ineffectiveness in the teaching learning process. Health of a learner. Health of a learner also influences learning style. If person has a good health, then he will retain information for a longer period of time. But if person is suffering from physical, visual or auditory defects, he will lack in reading or speaking skills, etc. Various glands such as thyroid gland also affects their behavior. Next, personality. Personality of an individual also influences learning style. If person is extrovert in nature, then he will feel more happy, comfortable in participating various group activities. But if person is introvert in nature, then he will feel shy, discomfort while involving in various group activities. Senses. Senses also play very essential role in influencing learning styles. Effective use of multisensory approaches would create effective teaching learning environment. There are many ways to perceive information. We can perceive information either through eyes, ears, and either through hands. So, multiple ways of perceiving information helps learner to retain information for a longer period of time. According to RIF, student can retain 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, and 70% of what they say. So besides these factors, there are many other factors that influence learning styles, such as students' previous learning experiences, societies in which they live, and culture too. Now we discuss models of learning style. Models of learning styles are further classified into four main broad categories. Number one, content-based learning model. Number second, thinking process-based model. Number third, experiential learning-based model. Number four, perceptual learning-based model. Now we will discuss these models one by one. Number one, content-based learning model. Content-based learning model is based on Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. He proposed learning styles are of 8 types, such as verbal, visual, linguistic, logical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic, etc. Next, thinking process-based model. The Felder-Solomon model is also known as thinking process-based model. He divided learning styles into four main categories, such as activist and reflective learners, sensing and intuitive learners, sequential and global learners, and visual and verbal learners. Next is experiential learning based model. Cobb's learning model is also known as experiential learning based model. Cobb divided learning styles into four stages, that is, concrete experience, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. It also represents Cobb's learning cycle. Honey-Mumford model is also based on Cobb's learning cycle model. He divided learning styles again into four categories, that is activist, theorist, pragmatist, and reflective. And last one is perceptual learning model. The most commonly used perceptual model is VAC model. He divided learning styles into three main categories: visual learning style, auditory learning style, and kinesthetic learning style. It is based on perceptual aspect of learner's personality. Now we will discuss these three styles in detail. Number one is visual learning style. In visual learning style, visual learners prefer to watch charts, graph, pictures, motions, GIFs, animations. They prefer to use sense of sight for studying all type of material. They need quite study time. They like color and fashion. They follow the directions that are given visually. Teacher must use multimedia presentations or motion pictures while dealing with these kinds of learners. They choose professions that suit their learning styles, such as doctors, engineers, surgeons, etc. Now next is auditory learning style. In auditory learning style, auditory learners prefer to use sense of sight for studying all kind of material. They follow the directions that are given orally. They sit in front of their class. They are very talkative. They tell wonderful stories. They solve their problems by talking about them. Then they read text aloud. Teacher must use loud voice while dealing with these type of learners. They choose professions such as musicians, psychologists, and disc jockeys, etc. Now, next is kinesthetic learning style. In kinesthetic learning style, kinesthetic learners, they prefer to use the sense of touch. They prefer the method learning by doing. Teacher must provide first-hand experience to these kind of students. They choose professions such as athletics, dancing, etc. They like to do practical work. They build models and construct models also. They love sports. Now, they also rewrite the notes and prefer to use pen and pencil while taking the notes. Now, role of teacher for strengthening learning styles. Teacher play a very important role in strengthening the learning styles. Teacher must match his or her teaching style according to the different learning styles of students. For example, in order to match visual learners, teacher must use multimedia presentations. Teacher must bring variation in his or her teaching style. For example, for teaching a single topic, teacher can use a variety of methods available such as lecture, demonstration, assignment, project method. Teacher should provide feedback to the students. Teacher should redesign his or her classroom. Redesigning means decorating the walls or cleaning the floors. This would bring divergent thinking and creative thinking among students. Teacher should use peer teaching techniques that will enable learner to act both as learner as well as teacher. Teacher should keep in mind the psychological theories such as operant conditioning and shaping of behavior that would enable learner to incorporate multiple learning styles. Teacher can take oral test, written test, performance test, presentations in order to identify different learning styles among students. Teacher can use various teaching strategies also that suits the learners of different learning styles, such as cognitive strategy. It involves the modification of language material through notes taking, reasoning. Metacognitive strategy, which involves the organization of content, monitoring of mistakes, and evaluating the success. Social strategy, it involves the working with others and clarifying the doubts. Communication strategy, it involves participation in the conversation. Compensatory strategy, it involves reading and speaking skills. Then affective strategy, it involves learners' moods, emotions, and feelings also. Besides this, there are also other factors that affect learning styles. Teachers should use team teaching, brainstorming, multisensory approaches. There is no one single learning best style. So it involves the combination of multi-learning styles. At last, we can conclude that learning styles are the methods of learning or understanding new information. They are the overall patterns that provide direction to the whole teaching learning process. They are the set of behaviors, attitudes, and factors that provide direction to the teaching learning process. They are the way in which person perceive and retain information for the longer period of time. There are many factors that affect learning styles such as genetics, environment, personality, senses, etc. So, at last, teacher should match his or her teaching style with the learning styles of students. This would bring effectiveness in the whole teaching learning process, and it will also improve academic performance of students. Thank you.